Hi guys, welcome back. So, on Biden's speech on his 100-day presidency, he reinforced the Buy American strategy. So what is this Buy American going to affect our Chinese stocks from here? Today I want to share my point of view on the short and long-term effects and how I would react to this. So it was last week, at the end of April, Biden was giving speech to reinforce the Buy American strategy. It was the end of last month, end of April. Biden gave a speech on his 100-day presidency, and he talked about the future strategy on Americans' economy. And a lot of media has already reported and summarized. And we take away the essence here, the strategy reinforcement of the Buy American. Now let's review a little bit of his speech.
And all the investments in the American Job Plan will be guided by one principle: Buy American. Buy American. And I might note parenthetically, that does not violate any trade agreement. It's been the law since the 30s. Buy American. American tax dollars are going to be used to buy American products made in America to create American jobs. That's the way it's supposed to be, and it will be in this administration.
So here he said that the American tax dollar should be spent to create American jobs. So it's the only principle of Buy American. So what this implies is that for businesses, smart money, if you want to benefit from this trillions of dollars of stimulus package, it's gotta be American products, made American. Now let's look at another clip.
Decades ago, we used to invest 2% of our gross domestic product in America, 2% of our gross domestic product in research and development. Today, Mr. Secretary, that's less than 1%. China and other countries are closing in fast. We have to develop and dominate the products and technologies of the future. Advanced batteries, biotechnology, computer chips, clean energy.
So here he's comparing America to China and saying that Americans have been falling behind because of the lack of investment on the technology. The new technology, for example, advanced technology, biotech, new energy, etc. And China has been spending much more than American. So basically, he wants the stimulus check to be investing more into this, pointing a direction for the smart money to go. Now let's look at the next clip.
Think about it. There is simply no reason why the blades for wind turbines can't be built in Pittsburgh instead of Beijing. No reason. None. No reason. So folks, there's no reason why American workers can't lead the world in the production of electric vehicles and batteries. I mean, there is no reason. We have the capacity. We're the brightest, best trained people in the world. The American Jobs Plan is going to create millions of good-paying jobs Americans can raise a family on. As my dad would then say, with a little breathing room.
So here he said that there's no reason why the wind turbine cannot be made in Pittsburgh instead of Beijing. He's giving an example to say that the whole supply chain of clean energy can be totally built within America, to build, to manufacture, to create more American jobs. And strongly targeting China because he believes there's no reason why America cannot be the leader of EV, clean energy, and battery, etc. So he wants America to pass China in all these new techs. Now let's look at the next clip.
Good guys and women on Wall Street, but Wall Street didn't build this country. The middle class built the country, and unions built the middle class. So that's why I'm calling on Congress.
So why does he purposely say that America is not built on Wall Street but on middle class? I think he knows that putting on the strong competition with China in new technology and through stopping investment in China, because we remember the news we saw a few days ago that Biden team likely to proceed with Trump-China investment ban. President Joe Biden is trying to navigate a fraught relationship with Beijing as tension flares over issue the investment blacklist, with Trump announced in November, touch off a new conflict, prompting China to threaten possible legal action against global firms that follow the US ban. He wants to spend multi-trillion dollars to renew the US economy because China is eating our lunch. He said, quote, "The Chinese are eating our lunch. They're eating our lunch economically. They're investing hundreds of billions of dollars in research. If it keeps going this way, they're going to own the electric car market in the world." He said, "We've got to compete." So he feels threatened by how advanced China has been in the new sector of clean energy and EV, as well as some other new technologies like artificial intelligence, etc. So he wants to compete by putting investment ban on China, because here he's pointing out the problem of eating our lunch. He knows that last year, with the trillions of dollars of stimulus package, a lot of money were pumped in the stock market. And he knows right now a lot of the American dollars are investing in the Chinese EV sector, clean energy sector. And he wants to stop this by putting investment ban on Chinese companies and guide the money to invest in American companies instead. So he's saying they need to invest trillions of dollars in these sectors and especially supporting research and development. He knows that Wall Street had made a lot of money with the Chinese investment because recently the Chinese companies had given a great return on investment for the Wall Street. And secondly, a lot of the Chinese companies had IPO within this 1 to 2 years, and there are a lot of revenue of Wall Street from this area. So right now he's saying that he's well aware that it could harm the Wall Street, but he thinks that American is built on blue collar, not the Wall Street. So he's ready to sacrifice the interest of the Wall Street in order to pursue this Buy American, this investment ban. So on this speech, to summarize his 100-day presidency, he has put a lot of attention in the China issue because he really feels threatened by the whole growth speed of China. It's not just the economy, but especially the new technology. He's threatened because he thinks America is falling behind. So I really think this is out of expectation from a lot of investors, even the Wall Street. Because when Biden was elected, most people would think that he's not going to follow Trump's investment ban because we all thought it was somehow impulsive move and not beneficiary for both countries. So that's why we have always thought that the dark time for Chinese stocks is over and we are seeing more and more lights coming up soon. But recently it's showing us the complete opposite. It seems like he wants a direct competition. He wants America to be the leader of new technology again, just like before, so it can create more manufacturing capacity, more blue-collar employment. And in fact, some people believe that he is more targeting China than Trump did already, so even more, because Biden would push more the allies to act on China together instead of being alone on this. So on one side, he's using trillions of dollars to attract the smart money to follow his direction, pointing the next giant business opportunities in America. And at the same time, putting investment ban in Chinese investment. And also pushing the allies to fight against China together, to have the Western countries united for the China issue. So in my understanding, this is kind of like the tactic of large corporation to make the smaller companies to choose one between the two and with more incentive. For example, last time we talked about the Alibaba big fine on the anti-probe because they've been using the choose one between the two tactic on a lot of the other companies. Like if you have your products listed on JD.com or PDD, then you cannot have your products listed for sale on Alibaba, Taobao or Tmall. So that's the choose one between the two tactics. And right now, the US is doing the same thing to China. So basically, if you want to do business with China, then you cannot do business with the US. That's the direction it's going toward, it feels like. And there is massive incentive behind it, which is the trillions of dollars stimulus package going to be spent on all these new technology and the infrastructure for it. So what does it mean to us investors? Obviously, for our Chinese stocks, it's not great news. As you can see, Alibaba Group Holding fell as much as 1.7%, Baidu slipped 2.8%, Tencent dropped 1.2%. So if even the big tech company can drop this much, think about our small growth stocks, how much it can hit, right? So recently, the Chinese companies have been getting a lot of hit from the politic issue, the SEC law, and now the investment ban. A few weeks ago, it already took big hit because the Chinese government was tightening the quantitative easing policy because of the strong recovery of the Chinese economy. And like I said in my last video, the market interprets strong economy recovery as less QE and bad news for growth stocks. So there's really the good and bad side of the stories here. The good side is that from how much Biden is threatened by the China's new technology, it just enhanced and confirmed our belief that China is more advanced in the sectors that we are heavily investing in, the future sectors that would dominate a big part of the economy, and the big possibility that China will be the leader in this field. We strongly believe that institutions are backing us, and now we see Biden's response to this. He should know much more information than us, so it does help us confirm our belief. But at the same time, should we be worried about the investment ban? Would it cause the companies, the new technology, to slow down the growth? For this, is he going to put more and more ban, like what he did to Huawei and DJI? If we look at the number of charging stations in China, they have installed 807,000 charging stations last year in 2020, increased from 500,000 from the previous years. So as of the end of 2020, they have the total of 1.3 million charging stations. And if we compare it to US, there are 41,000 charging stations built already. So 1.3 million versus 41,000. Here, let's look at China's 5G development. China has built 700,000 5G base stations, more than the rest of the world combined. To give you an idea, US has around 50,000 base stations. So China has 14 times more 5G base stations than the US. And it is twice the amount of the rest of the world outside China combined. So this is how much China has been leading the 5G right now, even though Huawei has been banned for 2 years already. And we know that 5G is the infrastructure to support a lot of the new technology. Without the 5G, it simply cannot roll out. Like some of the other investments we are in, for example, autonomous drones, autonomous drive, HD map, smart cities. All of this require the 5G infrastructure, and without this to support, it's only a concept. After looking at the 5G, let's look at 6G. China holds 35% of global 6G patents. There are over 38,000 patents globally related to 6G technologies, and China has 13,449, which accountable for 35% of the world's patent. And the US comes in second place with 18%. So China has doubled the amount of patents. So we see that China is already winning the next generation of technology quite ahead of the game. I've said it before in my NEOS video that the Chinese culture is quite introversial. They don't announce a lot of the things that are ongoing until they are achieving it. So I think right now the US putting investment ban on China, I would think it's already too late. And at the same time, they may not even know what the Chinese has been developing in which area that they have not announced yet. For example, the chip shortage has been a big issue, and I think there is a high chance that the Chinese government, along with a lot of the Chinese companies, have been working quite closely and rapidly to solve this chip shortage issue. Because I do think the chip shortage should not be an issue regarding to only companies. It should be raised in regards to the whole country. And we all know that China is good at keeping a lot of different parties, different companies united to solve one problem. We have witnessed that throughout the COVID explosion, when we saw how fast they got many parties to solve the issue together in a fast rate. So I don't think in the long term, the investment ban from the US would stop the growth of new technology of China. So that is the good side of the story, but there is of course the bad side of the story, which is for a lot of the Chinese companies to be under attack in the short term. But at first, most of the investors would have expected Biden to lift off the ban slowly from Trump's administration, but now it seems like it's not the case. And because he feels threatened by the new technology development from Chinese companies, so now he is considering more investment ban in the Chinese. At the beginning of this year, I said that I think 2021 would be the beginning of Chinese stocks. Because first of all, the political issue, we all expect that to be more eased off. And second of all, I do think the Chinese companies are a lot under the shadow, and they still are. But a lot of the technologies and their strength had been slowly revealing, and it will keep going in this way. So we are going to see more and more breakthrough and surprises that we don't already know. So I still think we are at the beginning of the Chinese companies. I still think we will see bright future. But we are not here to talk about politics. We are talking about investment. And there is no reason why we cannot take advantage of both sides. On one side, we still believe in China being the leader of a lot of the new technology in the future, where we are investing in early so we get cheaper deal. That means we need longer patience to be rewarded. On the other hand, we see trillions of dollars injecting in those investment opportunities in the US that we are not slipping through as well. So we should be able to take good advantage of both sides, and that would mean the shorter term investment for me, while I will keep the long-term investment in some of the Chinese stocks, keep the original position, and be prepared that it's gonna need a lot of patience. Okay, now that's it for what I want to show you today. Let me know what you think. What's your plan? Now, if you have enjoyed this video, please give me a big like and write me a great comment, and I'll see you in my next video. That's it, guys. Hope you can find my videos helpful. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and give me a big like. Thank you.